The idea behind transpersonal psychology was to create a psychology that would cover the whole spectrum of human experience, including spiritual experiencing.
So, of these people, and you've seen so many, do you have any idea of the prevalence of spiritual emergency versus ordinary psychosis?
I think myself it's a very large group.
I don't have the emergency.
Spiritual emergency. I don't have the percentage, yeah. But it's a very large group, and I believe that it's growing. And the reason for it, the way I see it, is that you see there is a kind of a reciprocal relationship between how much energy you put into your self-exploration and how much you put into your acquisition of external things. So to the point to which you have a lot of hope, a kind of exciting vision, American dream. You're going to get a house and a bigger car and a better position and so on. You're being drawn from your unconscious into the external world. Now, when it starts collapsing, can happen in your personal life. Your relationship collapses. You lose your job. Or it happens on a large scale, like what we saw happening economically. People lose the perspective. They lose the hope that somehow something better will be happening in the future, and they are sort of thrown back on their own unconscious, and they start sort of experiencing what's happening in the inner world, which is a problem, but it could also be a tremendous opportunity. Unfortunately, people who are in this spiritual emergency and would have a chance to transform in a species that would have much better chance to survive, those are seen as the sick ones. They get the labels, they get the tranquilizers. As far as the inner healing intelligence is considered, we recognize it in the physical realm, but we don't have that concept of the psyche having a self-healing intelligence. It would be like somebody coming with a fever to the hospital. We say, what do we do? Well, put him on ice, and you'll see the temperature going down, and you'll be very happy how much you help. You're not asking the question why the fever was there. And so when I was a beginning psychiatrist, there were still kind of two schools. There was the uncovering and the covering. The covering was you use just suppression of symptoms. The uncovering was you do something, some process, psychotherapeutic process, depth psychology and so on, trying to go to the core, to the underlying reason. And now what we see more and more, for a variety of reasons, not the least of which is the influence of the pharmaceutical companies. You see more and more shift towards trying to solve everything with this suppression of symptoms. It's something that gets mobilized in those states that I call holotropic, states that are part of the shamanic initiatory crisis, or the kind of states that they induce in their clients. The kind of states of consciousness that you see in rites of passage of various native cultures, the kinds of states that the initiates experience in the mysteries of death and rebirth, the states that the yogis experience, the Buddhists, the Taoists, the Kabbalists, the Christian mystics, and so on. So all those have that potential. I mean, to bring about emotional and psychosomatic healing, and we don't really sort of recognize that. We have actually pathologized all non-ordinary states, and even outlawed some of the contexts or some of the means in which people could have those experiences, rather than supporting them. I believe, like many people in the transpersonal circles, that the problems that we see in the world are just symptoms that they have one common denominator, which is the level of consciousness evolution of the human species, and that we probably cannot solve the crisis without some really significant inner transformation. And we know that the means are available. I mean, that the transformation is possible. Now, whether it's going to happen soon enough and on a large enough scale, that's another thing.